The signal in the quiet sky above the planet Verdanis, a strange object appeared. At first, the alien scientists thought it was space junk. It wasn't moving fast. It wasn't sending any signals. It just floated, slow and silent, above their atmosphere, but then it stopped. Completely. No orbit, no rotation. It simply hung in space like a shadow that shouldn't be there. "Zoom in," said one of the observers. The screen sharpened. What they saw made the room go silent. It wasn't debris. It wasn't a broken satellite. It was a ship, a massive one. Dark, metal shaped like a blade with glowing blue lights across its sides. Armor plates thicker than anything the Verdanis military had ever seen. The ship had no flag, no markings, no sound, just presence. One of the younger officers leaned forward and whispered, "Is that Terran?" The room froze. The word alone was enough to stir fear. Terran. The ancient name for humans. A species long believed to be extinct, or gone, or hiding. The elder advisor shook his head slowly. They vanished hundreds of years ago. That can't be them. But deep down everyone knew. This was not an ordinary ship. This was built by something earthborn, something deadly. Within minutes the news spread. Other cities saw it. Civilian telescopes locked onto it. Everyone watched. No one slept. Some cried, some prayed. The High Council met within the hour. They had not met this fast since the Red Star War 2 centuries ago. "Why now?" asked the Prime Voice. "Where did they come from?" said another. "They didn't come," answered the military commander. "They returned." The council chamber dimmed as a live feed played on the wall. It showed the Terran ship still floating in the sky. No movement, no communication. Suddenly the screen turned black, then static, then silence. "What happened?" shouted a technician. "Main satellites are down," replied another. "How many?" "All of them." The council sat in silence. One ship, no shots fired. Yet their entire space network was gone. "This is a message," whispered the Prime Voice, and they were right. 5 light-years away, in a nearby system, a cargo freighter picked up the same object on its scanners. "Looks like a ship," the pilot muttered. "Too big for cargo. No ID code, just floating. Try hailing them." No response. The co-pilot leaned back in his chair. "You ever hear the old Terran legends?" The pilot laughed nervously. "Just stories, ghost fleets, forgotten ships, and fairy tales." They watched the feed again. This didn't feel like a fairy tale. It felt like the beginning of something terrible. Back on Verdanis, the government scrambled to send small scout ships toward the Terran Warship. Fast, light, and unmanned. The first one approached. It vanished. No explosion. No impact. Just gone. Like it had never existed. The second followed. Same result. The third returned. Barely. Its outer hull was melted. Its cameras destroyed. The only image left was a flash of glowing red light, and then static. One word came through the damaged comms. A whisper. "Observed." That was it. Not a threat, not a warning, just a statement. They were being watched. Panic spread across Verdanis. Citizens stormed markets. Some fled to underground bunkers. Others climbed buildings just to get a look. Religious leaders claimed it was a divine return. Scientists argued it was ancient tech, but the people didn't care. They only knew one thing. Earth's ship had come back, and it had said nothing. The Verdanis Defense Council wanted to fire missiles. The Prime Voice stopped them. "You do not throw rocks at a sleeping god," she said. Far beyond the stars, in the cold space between galaxies, hundreds of other ships started to awaken. All Terran, all silent. Their engines hummed softly, hidden in the void. But only one ship had arrived first. The Watcher. The signal. And on that ship, deep inside its armored heart, something began to wake. A voice. Calm. Cold. Human. Mission log. Resumed. The sleeping. Giant the Terran Warship had not moved in days. It floated in silence above Verdanis, casting a long shadow across the sky. The alien world, once proud and unafraid, now watched with growing terror. Life below continued, but only on the surface. Fear had gone deeper, into every mind, every home, every corner of society. The Verdanis High Command was running out of time and answers. "Still no communication?" asked the Prime Voice. "None," said the comms officer. "Not even background signals. The ship is dead, or waiting." Waiting for what? No one knew. But high above them, deep within the warship's dark hull, something stirred. Inside the Terran ship, in a sealed chamber of silver walls and humming lights, a pod opened with a hiss. A human figure lay inside, eyes closed, skin pale and marked with ancient battle scars. Tubes retracted from his arms. Frost melted on his face, and then his eyes opened, cold, sharp, focused. He sat up slowly, his body adapting to gravity, to time. The air around him crackled with energy as screens flickered to life. AI voice. "Commander status. Awake. Systems rebooting. Fleet link offline. Mission data encrypted. Local star data. Alien signatures detected." He stood. One man, one soldier. Sleeping giant reborn. Panic below. On Verdanis, their top scientist had a breakthrough. "This is no ordinary warship," she said. "It's not even here to attack." The council frowned. "Then why is it here?" She zoomed in on the ship's exterior. "See this panel? That's not a weapon port, it's a scanner. It's watching us, studying." "Why?" "Because we woke it." Everyone in the chamber froze. Woke what? Not a fleet, not a nation. We woke a relic of war, we woke the past. Across the galaxy elsewhere, in distant systems, old distress, beacons flickered to life. Other species, long hidden from war, picked up the Terran signal. Some fled, others prepared. In the shadow of an asteroid field, an empire called the Kalari gathered its fleet. Their admiral stared at the data. "This ship, it's from the old records, Earth class, pre-banishment." "Should we engage?" asked a captain. The admiral looked out into the stars. "No," he whispered, "not yet. First, let's see if the rumors are true." Back on the warship, the human commander walked through the halls of steel in silence. One by one, systems powered up, weapons activated, shields warmed, engines hummed with quiet power. He stood before a large screen showing Verdanis below. AI voice. "Planet status technologically advanced, not hostile, observing." He said nothing. His hand touched the screen. AI voice. "Shall I open communication?" He paused, then spoke his first words in centuries. "No. Let them wonder." Meanwhile, on Verdanis, the sky flashed. A second Terran signal appeared, but it wasn't near them. It was across the star. System. Another ship. Smaller. Faster. Also silent. Now the Verdanis knew the truth. The ship above them was not alone. It was just the first. The second flame. The second Terran ship moved with purpose. It slid out of the dark like a whisper in the void. Silent, swift, and colder than fear. It didn't glow like the first. It didn't hover in orbit. It cut through space like a blade, heading straight for the gas giant on the edge of the Verdanis system. Every sensor on Verdanis blinked red. New contact. It's different. Smaller. Faster. No signal. Where is it going? They traced its path, straight into the heart of the gas giant's storm. The wind there could shred steel. No ship could survive it. But the Terran vessel didn't slow down. It vanished into the swirling clouds. The message in the Verdanis council hall, the leaders sat in silence. Fear had become routine, but this was different. Then the first signal came, not a transmission, not a threat, a simple message, burned into their orbital satellites. One word in old Terran code. Observe. It wasn't a command. It wasn't a warning. It was an invitation. Inside the gas giant deep within the storms, the second Terran ship opened. It released probes, hundreds of them. Tiny black machines with blue eyes. They scanned, recorded, and vanished. The ship wasn't hiding. It was planting something. The AI of the main warship watched all this silently, linking its data to the commander. He saw it all, and he smiled. AI voice. Second Scout has deployed the signal core. Network forming. Phase 2 ready. He turned to the frozen stars. It begins, he whispered. Back on Verdanis, the High Command sent a desperate message across known space. To allies. To enemies. To anyone who would listen. Terran units are active. Unknown mission. Do not engage. We request assistance. But most races didn't answer. Those who remembered Earth stayed silent because they remembered what happened the last time humanity went to war. Another warship. Wakes light years away, a third. Terran Warship drifted near a dead star. It had slept for millennia, until now. Its engines sparked. Its weapons clicked into place. Its eyes opened. One word appeared across its ancient screen. Awakened. The final scene on Verdanis, civilians stared up at the sky. The once beautiful night was now filled with blinking lights, ships, satellites, tracking, orbs, but then the first Terran ship moved, not fast, not aggressive, just a slow rotation toward the planet, like it was watching more closely now. Then the lights along its hull brightened, blue, white, and gold. Not a weapon, not an attack, a signal, one that meant only one thing: others are coming. The gathering fleet, the galaxy did not sleep. Every world, every outpost, every empire watched. The first Terran ship still hovered above Verdanis, unmoving. The second had vanished inside a storm. Now, a third signal lit up the dark. Not just one ship, not even two. A fleet. The distant edge at the edge of the known galaxy, far from trade routes and patrols. A small science station detected something impossible. Thousands of blips. They weren't natural. They weren't local. They were Terran. And they were waking up. Are they coming here? A technician asked, voice shaking. No. The commander said quietly. They're coming everywhere. Inside the first ship, the command deck of the first Terran warship remained cold and silent. No crew, just an AI with orders. It had waited for centuries, and now it activated the beacon. Above Verdanis, a beam of light shot upward into space. Invisible to the eye, but loud to every sensor in the galaxy. A summoning call. Reactions. Across the stars, the United Alliance gathered its leaders in panic. Some wanted peace. Some wanted to strike now, before Earth's army fully arrived. They're old ships, one general said. How dangerous can they be? Another replied with a trembling voice. If these are old, what do the new ones look like? The arrival begins. Over the next 72 hours, 6 more Terran ships arrived. They came from black holes, asteroid belts, even buried inside moons. Each one looked different, some small, some massive, all deadly. But they didn't speak. They didn't attack. They only stared, watching, judging. The mistake a nearby empire, proud and foolish, sent 10 warships to escort the Terrans away. They opened a communication channel. Earthship, leave the system at once or be destroyed. There was silence. Then a soft reply. This system was once Earth's. You are the visitors. And with that, the alien fleet vanished. All 10 ships. Gone. No explosion. No trace. Just silence. Whispers begin, now. Other systems trembled. Did Earth reclaim this world? Are they here for revenge? Why now, after all this time? The Terrans gave no answer, but their ships kept arriving, and above Verdanis the stars no longer looked peaceful. They looked full. The warning, the galaxy watched in fear. 9 Terran warships now circled Verdanis. Their dark hulls glowed with strange lights. No one dared to move. And then, it happened. The largest ship powered up. Not weapons, not shields. A transmission, but not through normal channels. The signal went straight into minds. The voice every being across Verdanis, military officers, civilians, children, heard it. A voice. Cold, calm, human. This is not an invasion. This is a reminder. Earth remembers everything. The message ended. Just those words. No threats. No demands. But the galaxy understood. This was a warning. The past resurfaces historians scrambled to explain. Long ago, the galaxy had pushed Earth aside, called them primitive, dangerous. Then, Earth vanished. Some said they destroyed themselves. Others whispered they had gone into deep space to build in silence. Now, those whispers felt true, and they were terrifying. Council in chaos. Galactic Council met in panic. This is a show of force, shouted one. They haven't attacked, argued another. But they don't need to, whispered the oldest among them. Their silence is louder than any war cry. A small ship arrives. Then, a small Terran shuttle entered Verdanis airspace. It was unarmed. It asked for landing permission. The aliens froze. The Terrans had sent no diplomats, no soldiers. Until now. What was inside? A leader? A machine? A weapon? The Council granted access, out of fear. The landing. The ship landed without a sound. Its doors opened. Steam hissed. A single figure stepped out, not wearing armor, not glowing with power. Just a plain suit, a mask, human in size. But behind that quiet figure was the presence of 1,000 sleeping giants. It stood before the leaders of Verdanis, then spoke. We did not come to conquer. We came to remind you of who we are. This is your last chance to remember. One final move back in orbit. The largest Terran warship turned slightly. Its hull shifted. A hidden section opened. Inside, a ship the size of a city pulsed with blue light. It wasn't a warship. It was something else. A relic, a command center, a judge. No one knew. But everyone felt the same thing. Dread. The forgotten weapon. The galaxy thought it had seen everything. But no one was ready for what came next. The huge Terran ship hovering above Verdanis opened fully. From its shadowed belly a structure unfolded, smooth, ancient, glowing with strange light. It didn't look like a weapon, but it felt like one. The stars around it dimmed. Panic and silence. Across Verdanis, military officers froze. Ships scanned it. No results, no heat, no energy spike, no life signs, and yet, systems shut down. Entire fleets lost communication. Satellites fell from orbit. Nothing fired. Nothing moved. Just that silent, floating structure. Still unfolding. Still remembering. The archive inside. The strange structure. Lights flickered on. Rows and rows of glowing memory cores. This wasn't just a ship. It was an archive, a digital record of everything Earth remembered. Wars, alliances, betrayals, names, species, systems. Earth had forgotten nothing, and now it was awake. Message to the Council. The quiet Terran representative still standing on Verdanis received a signal. He spoke one sentence. The archive has opened. The Galactic Council, now watching through live feed, broke into chaos. One ambassador collapsed. Another screamed, "It's real." The doomsday list is real. They had heard rumors before. That Earth kept a list. Enemies, threats, betrayers. Now that list had a voice again. Across the galaxy on distant worlds, hidden alarms triggered. Some alien leaders destroyed their old records. In panic, others tried to flee. But it was too late. The archive didn't need records. It already had them. A test, the Terran archive sent one command. Just one. A pulse. Silent. Invisible. Fired toward a barren asteroid on the edge of the system. The asteroid vanished. No fire, no debris, just erased. And then the archive powered down, message received, loud and clear. What comes next? The Terran figure on Verdanis looked at the sky. He said only one sentence before returning to his ship. Earth does not forget. And we are not alone. The galaxy held its breath. This wasn't a war, not yet. But Earth had awakened its forgotten weapon, and the stars were watching. Judgment from the stars' silence ruled the galaxy. The Terran archive drifted in orbit, glowing softly, like a god watching from the dark. No fleets moved, no threats came. Every empire held its breath. They all knew now. Earth had returned. And it remembered everything. The broadcast. Then, without warning, the archive sent a final message. Not through screens, not in code. It was a universal transmission. Every ship, planet, and being heard it at once. The voice was not human. It was ancient. Cold. Perfect. Your records have been reviewed. Judgment begins. The names across the stars, systems powered down. On screens, words appeared. Names, worlds, empires, commanders. The archive was revealing who had attacked Earth long ago, who had betrayed peace, who had turned their backs. Each name came with evidence. Old transmissions, war orders, secret council meetings. Nothing was hidden. Everyone was exposed. Falling regimes in the Krail Empire, leaders were overthrown within hours. On Cipher 9, entire fleets surrendered without a fight. No one wanted to be on Earth's list. The galaxy didn't wait for war. They broke themselves trying to avoid it. That was Earth's greatest weapon. Fear. One world resisted. One small world dared to fight. They fired on the archive. 3 missiles, high yield, designed for starship destruction. None of them hit. They vanished mid-flight, erased from existence. Then, the archive spoke again. Resistance recorded, consequence delivered, and the world simply vanished from all star maps. No wreckage, no sound, gone. Final contact back on Verdanis. The Terran figure prepared to leave. The council stood in silence. One alien leader dared to ask, What do you want? The Terran looked up. Nothing, we came for memory. We came to remind you of consequences. Peace is still an option, but we write the rules now. Departure. The Terran ships turned. They left orbit in silence. No explosions, no war, just cold understanding. The archive followed them, folding back into the fleet like it had never existed. Within minutes, they were gone. But the stars still felt heavy. A new age. The galaxy would never forget this day. A single Terran warship had appeared, and the universe had frozen. Now, peace was not based on diplomacy. It was based on the fear of waking Earth again. And, somewhere deep in the black, more Terran archives waited. The end.